Hi, my name is Abby Hunter, and I'm a part of a project to bring light to the creative community that we have here in Lancaster County. And today with me, I have Connor Austell. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Connor, and how you became a musician.
Hi, Abby. Well, thanks for having me. I am a pianist, and I began teaching music classes here at USCL almost exactly 1 year ago. And I became a musician sort of in a roundabout way. I always enjoyed music from a very young age. I initially wanted to play the saxophone when I was very young. I'm not 100% certain why. I don't know whether I just liked jazz or maybe it was shiny. I don't know what I was thinking. But my parents wisely decided that maybe it would be best to start me on piano because I was about the size of a saxophone at that point. They got me a miniature saxophone, toy saxophone, to placate me for a while. So I began taking piano lessons at about age 7, and I just really took to it. I just found I loved the piano, and since I've been teaching piano lessons, of course, you have to talk to a lot of parents that have trouble with getting their kids to practice and stuff like that, which is normal. But I never really had that issue so much. I always had no problem practicing. I really enjoyed it, and I just stuck with it. I picked up some more instruments along the way. I began playing percussion later on in school, and I picked up the guitar in high school, as a lot of people do. From there, up to that point, until graduation, I never really considered making my living as a musician, making a career out of that. It was just something I enjoyed doing. And then, I went through a few sort of rough lost years during high school and after high school, as a lot of people do, have struggles at that time, and I was just trying to find myself, I suppose, and I sort of came back to music in a sense, and decided to take it really seriously. I realized it was just one of those few things in my life that was just an inherently positive influence and always made me feel happy and fulfilled. That's when I decided that, maybe if I work hard, I might have some options here. And ultimately, I realized that there wasn't really anything else that I could realistically see myself doing, on a daily basis throughout my life. By that point, I was ruined for honest work. I really wanted to be a musician. So I was fortunate enough to have some excellent teachers who took me under their wing and prepared me for my undergraduate audition. And from there, I really admired the professors that I had during my undergraduate education, and I just really wanted to be like them. I wanted to do what they did and bring the sort of passion to the table that they brought and the inspiration that they gave to me. I wanted to be able to bring to others. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to go on and get a graduate degree and then eventually a doctoral degree, which I eventually did, because that's, at least in America, if you want to teach music at the collegiate level, usually you need a doctoral degree. So I achieved that in 2022. I ran a piano studio in the Atlanta area for a while, teaching piano, and then I was fortunate enough to end up here in Lancaster doing what I love.
Can you tell me a little bit about the projects that you've been a part of throughout your life as a musician? Maybe the ones that you're currently working on, or some of your favorites from the past?
Sure. So some highlights are, there was a dissertation project that I began working on during my final year of my graduate studies. And this was a project focused on an American composer named Thomas Green Wiggins. He was commonly known as Blind Tom. And I recall hearing his music on the radio at one point, a classical station, and I was thinking, gosh, what is this? This is some really excellent piano music. I wonder if it's by Mendelssohn or Schubert. And then when the announcer said it was by someone named Thomas Wiggins, who was born into slavery in Georgia, I was shocked. I was living in Georgia at the time, and the place where he was born was only a couple hours drive away from me. And I was like, why have I not heard of this person? Has anyone else heard of this person? Like, do people know about this? And so I started digging into it a little bit, and I realized that Wiggins would be a perfect subject for my doctoral project. And as a DMA student, DMA stands for Doctor of Musical Arts, the dissertation looks a little bit different. So it's there is a research and writing requirement, but it's not exactly like a full dissertation length document. But that will be accompanied by an audio recording, a professionally produced CD. So what I did was I did some research on Thomas Wiggins, and I produced a CD which included some of his works in it, most of which had not been recorded very much, if at all, and included that with some other works of contemporary composers. So that was a really fun project. I had a great time doing it, and I had a great time with the research and recording process. It's called, the CD is called Blind Tom's Creative Vision, available on all streaming platforms. And I eventually returned to that research last year, actually, after being asked to give a research presentation on it, and I just realized that there was more work to be done. And so I sort of revisited that research and looked into specifically some elements of Tom's piano music that hadn't really been held under any scrutiny before. Mm-hmm. And so I have an article about that's going to be published by an academic journal here pretty shortly. So that's been a recent project that I've really enjoyed. So current projects include getting some stuff started here at Lancaster. I do want to begin bringing in some more musicians and artists to perform on campus and perhaps speak to students as well, and just give more people in the community an opportunity to see classical music. So I'm working on getting a concert series going for that, and either beginning sometime this year, probably in the spring, or the 25-26 academic year. And I'm also working on some more research projects. One of them involves a Bohemian composer by the name of Jan Ladislav Dušek, who is somewhat known to pianists, but he's never really been on the forefront of people's mind. There's been not a ton of research done, but I'm really fell in love with his music recently, and I'm seeing some work to be done there. So that's been a recent project of mine that's ongoing. I've really enjoyed working with the Lancaster players here at USCL, and with Mary Beth Berry and with Tyree Rowe, and we produced some musicals here, which has been something of a new experience for me. I've worked in musicals before, but mostly just sort of cabarets and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's been a really fun experience. We're going to be doing another one here in the spring, and I look forward to that. I'm just enjoying figuring out what courses I can teach and what else can be done here in the Lancaster area. I've also been doing some reviews of local concerts as well for the Lancaster News, and that's just been a fun outlet as well, just to write about music, essentially. So those are some of the things that I've had in the works since I've been here.
Yeah. And getting back more into USCL and your teaching here, can you tell me a little bit about the classes that you offer at USCL?
Absolutely. So I teach, each semester I teach usually 2 sections of Music 110, which is Introduction to Music. It's a very broad-based course in which the first part we learn about different musical terminology and fundamentals, and then the second part of the course is sort of a chronological history of music, particularly music in the Western world. So that's been a really fun course to teach. It offers a lot of flexibility for me as a teacher, and it's just gives students a lot to chew on, anyone interested in music. Another course that I enjoy teaching is Music 140, which is my Jazz and American Popular Music course. And this is a course that is really great for anyone interested in the music of today and of the recent past. We deal with music generally that's not on the classical spectrum. So rock, pop, reggae, blues, all those types of things, anything up to the present day. And that's a class in which I ask more of the students in terms of writing and presenting and sharing their own music that they're passionate about and that they enjoy researching. So that's been a fun class to teach as well. I also teach beginning last semester, I also taught a music theory class as an intro to music theory fundamentals. And that's great for anyone who is just looking to learn to read music or looking to build upon the score reading skills that they already have. It's great to see students enter that class with little to no knowledge of score reading and reading music, and then to get them to, by the time they leave the class, be able to read it rather fluently. And that opens up the possibility of singing or writing music or simply just understanding it more when they see it. So that's been a fun class as well, and I usually teach that in the spring.
And what would you say, out of all your years of teaching, what would you say that teaching has taught you?
Sure. So teaching humbles me every semester I do it, every time I do it. You always learn how much there is left for you yourself to know. And you learn not only from doing research and reading to prepare for the classes, but also from your students. Sometimes they will turn you on to subjects or artists or traditions that you may not have been familiar with. I think one of the great things about Lancaster here is we get people from all kinds of different backgrounds, and so there are. I'm always learning about things that I could really stand to do some more research in and figure out ways that I can incorporate that into the class more. So teaching is a learning experience as much as it is about sharing.
Yeah, and one last question for you.
Of course.
What does being creative mean to you?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. With the word creative, I'm tempted to go to the etymology of the word create, right? So, but it's more complicated than that. So being creative it does involve creating something new, but it can also involve reinterpreting things that are already existing or finding new ways to understand things. I think about this particularly as a performing pianist, in which much of the music that I perform was written by others, and often written by others long ago. I don't really compose music myself, so a lot of what I do could be said to be reinterpreting or perhaps recreating music, and that can be challenging. It's tough to know what, for example, Mozart was thinking when he wrote his notes on the page, and those notes can only tell you so much in and of themselves. It's really when you get into studying, say, the cultural traditions of Austria in the 18th and 19th centuries, and the music score writing practices at the time, and the life of Mozart and those around him, to really get us a more holistic sense of what that music means and is intended to represent. So, and what I'm trying to do essentially is not recreate, but maybe, if anything, interpret the works of others, and ultimately involve, as inevitably happens, some of my own personality and ideas in there as well. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but that's.
I think it did.
Yeah, that's what I think of, I guess.
Well, great answer, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much, Abby.